Rage contorted Henry's face, demanding a cut of the carefree pill profits or mentorship for Angela. Simon and Melissa stood beside me, their expressions mirroring my disbelief and anger at his blatant manipulation. But I remained calm, my voice steady as I dismantled his claims. The carefree pill belonged to us, the Andersons, not his deceased wife. Cornered, Henry's aggression morphed into a pathetic plea for Angela's mentorship. But I was done. I pointed to the door, my tone leaving no room for argument. Finally, he was gone. Upstairs, my phone rang. It was Lily, her voice a mix of excitement and disbelief. The DNA results were back. I already knew he wasn't my father. But Angela? What did this mean? Would Henry's desperation escalate? Could I truly shield my children from the man who claimed to be their grandfather? Henry and Wendy remained stubbornly rooted outside the Andersons' front door, their anger simmering like a volatile brew. Wendy, her voice laced with venom, couldn't resist stirring Henry's fury. Honestly, Nora is so utterly ungrateful. How can she just discard us the moment she comes into a bit of money? Henry's face flushed a dangerous shade of red, the veins on his forehead throbbing. She's heartless. I'm going to sue her, he bellowed, his voice carrying down the quiet street. Wendy's brow furrowed, a hint of pragmatism tempering her anger. Do you truly think the authorities will intervene in a family dispute like this, Henry? And how much will it cost us to hire a decent lawyer? Henry, impatient with her practical concerns, waved her off. We'll figure that out later. The important thing is to teach Nora a lesson. He grabbed Wendy's hand, his grip tight, and said, "Come on, let's go. We'll come back later, when she's had time to think about this." The night passed with an unsettling calm. Melissa, however, remained troubled. Your father. He seems like a dangerous man, Nora. Will they cause any further trouble? I offered a small, reassuring smile, trying to dispel her worries. There's always a solution to a problem, Aunt Melissa. Don't worry, I can handle them. Melissa voiced her anxieties to Mrs. Anderson. Yvette was such a proud woman, Mom. Why did she have to choose such an awful man? Mrs. Anderson heaved a deep sigh, her gaze distant and filled with a lingering sadness. Destiny works in strange and unpredictable ways. Simon, his face etched with a similar weariness, joined their somber contemplation. Melissa's voice was heavy with a mixture of pity and admiration. She lost her mother at such a young age, and then she was saddled with such a terrible father. Nora's the one I truly feel sorry for in all of this. What an embarrassing spectacle with her father today. She must be feeling utterly humiliated. Simon nodded in agreement. Yeah. How did she seem when you talked to her just now? Melissa hesitated, her gaze thoughtful. She's a sensible girl. A little too sensible, perhaps. And she doesn't want to burden us with her problems. She'll only share good news. Even when you ask her how she's feeling, all she ever says is that everything is fine. She's probably in tears right now, but she'd never let us see it. Mrs. Anderson and Simon exchanged another sigh, their hearts heavy with a shared sorrow for the burden I carried. But I was already asleep, oblivious to their concerns, my body finally succumbing to the exhaustion of the day. Cherry slept soundly beside me, her small hand clutching mine. The next day, Saturday, I was awakened by a jarring commotion from downstairs. A frown creased my forehead as I pushed myself out of bed, my sleepiness instantly replaced by a sense of unease. As soon as I stepped out of my room, I heard the harsh, insistent tones of Simon's angry voice rising from the living room. "We are not granting any interviews," he declared, his voice tight with frustration. Melissa's voice, usually calm and composed, was laced with a barely suppressed fury. "If you don't leave this property immediately, I'm calling the security guards," she threatened, her tone leaving no room for argument. An unfamiliar voice, smooth and professional, cut through their anger. "Please, everyone, shouting won't solve anything. My name is Roxanne, and I'm a reporter. Miss Smith's father contacted my news agency, claiming she's refusing to speak with him. We're simply here to facilitate a discussion." The presence of the reporter, the live broadcast. They had dragged our personal drama into the public eye. My anger simmered, but a cold calculation settled over me. I wouldn't let them dictate the narrative. I wouldn't let them use my past to control my present. How far would Henry go to get what he wanted? What would the public's reaction be to his accusations? And most importantly, how could I protect my children from the fallout of this escalating family war? A war I never asked for, a war I was determined to win.
Hi, Nora here. If you are wondering what happens next, then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Saving Nora Now with the link in the description.